Hey everyone, it's Randy from Dreamy Bohemian, and I want to thank you for stopping by my channel again. I am coming on to record my collage challenge uh, for the collage challenge that I've added into the events for the Facebook group Bohodaydreams. Now, if you would like to join us in this challenge, feel free to join us in the Facebook group Bohodaydreams, which I'll link below. Just make sure that you answer all the questions to join and, say that you want to join the collage. You can also follow along here on YouTube if you like, or on Instagram. The hashtag for this collage challenge is BDD collage, and I'll add that in the comments or the description actually. And hopefully you will use that if you join us, and I really hope that you'll join us. This is a collage challenge that is going to be loaded into the events portion of the Facebook group every week. So you're not going to get the prompts ahead of time. I actually put them in a day or two ahead of time, so you can't work ahead, and you have to stay on pace, not rush. Think about learning new techniques, things like that. Just more of a journey, because I'm a beginner at collage. I mean, I have done some collaging, but I'm by no means an expert. As you can see here, I'm just used to ripping up some papers and scrapbook paper and things like that, and making tags out, cutting it and making tags out of them, like I've made master boards and things like that. So I want to get more involved and, I don't know, see where my artistry, if you can call it that, will take me. So it's a 52-week challenge, which means there's one collage per week for the year 2022. The prompts for this week, oh, before I go on, I want to say that if you join this collage, it doesn't mean that you have to do all 52 weeks. It just means you can do whatever you can, whenever you can. You don't have to, be upset if you can't make one week. Obviously, you can always go back if you want to. I know how life gets. It is that way for me. I'm going to try to upload a video a week for this challenge, because that's a challenge to myself. I work full time and I don't really have a whole lot of time. So I want to make sure I stay creative this year, because I didn't do that last year. I didn't get to do that so much, and I really want to do that. So for this first collage, which the prompts are angel, owl, quote, and wrapping paper, I just tried to stay pretty basic. But as I go, I hope to, and I hope the same will happen to you, I hope to incorporate more advanced collage techniques. I'm at the When I get this down on the paper here, I'm going to try a few things that I have seen and see what happens. I don't really know what it's going to look like, but I'm willing to give it a shot. And you know what? If I mess up, it's just paper, right? And honestly, if I do mess up really bad, I could cover all this up and start all over again. So it's not like I've really ruined anything. But I'm probably not going to do that. I'll probably just leave it as it is. But you know what I'm talking about. There's really no huge mistakes here, because it's just paper that you can cover back up. So I'm doing a very basic background of a cutout from a bird book. Oops, excuse me. From the bird book that I got that owl from. It was in the nighttime, and up there at the top it's got some clouds, and it has the moon peeking out behind it, and I thought the light was really pretty. And so I just decided to put that into my collage. Also, at the bottom is just a piece of jelly print paper that I've made. And I just cut it down to size for the piece of paper here that I'm collaging on. If you want to see what I'm using to collage, I just made another video right before this one, and it talks about that, and then some basic supplies of collage if you want to take a look at that one. For some reason, I guess since I haven't made a video for a while, the YouTube algorithm has dropped me, and so not very many people have seen that video, but you might want to go back and look at it if you're newer to collaging, or if you just want to see what I'm collaging in the book. So the layout here, I already worked on that and tried to figure out where I wanted things before I came on video, because sometimes it takes me a long time, and the dogs bark and it gets noisy, and so I just wanted to go ahead and make sure that that was done before I came on here. So I already know where I'm going to lay my pieces, but that's always a bit of a puzzle. You move things around on the paper and see how they look, and if they're the way that you want them to look. So I never just go in blind. I really want to know where I'm going with it. So in the future, I want to do some additional layering with book pages and things of that nature. A lot of collage artists, if you look on YouTube, talk about the underlayers and the base layer. Some of them even call it underpants, which I think is pretty funny. But you start by layering your book pages or whatever you want to layer with underneath, and then you collage on top of that. You do a layer of gesso on top of that, and then you start collaging. I'm not 100% sure that I really know how to pull off this technique, so I might have to watch a couple videos between now and the next collage, but we'll see what happens. I've made some little collage background packets, and I think I'm going to try to use one of those. It's all I did is I cut up some vintage books, some old kids books, things like that, and it's just got book print and some pictures on it, and there's some vintage papers and all kinds of things in there that I just plan on laying on the background just to get my base down. So I'm going to try working on that. So you'll see that in the next video. I really, really love collaging. I don't know what it is about it. There's just something that I get such enjoyment out of. It's kind of therapeutic just to cut some paper and glue it down on paper. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the tearing of the paper, and I didn't tear any paper on this one really, except for that jelly print paper, but when I do the layering, that's when I'll start tearing. But so I don't know, it just feels good to put a piece of paper down with some glue. I don't know what it is about it. I really want to focus on things that make me happy and fulfilled this year as far as art is concerned, since I didn't get to do so much of it last year. I just really get immense satisfaction out of collaging. So no matter what happens, and if I stay the same, if I don't learn anything super new, it doesn't matter, because it's time that I'm spending with me. On this collage here, I'm doing a quote. I drew I've put all these prompts into a jar, and so I drew out several of them to work with, just kind of randomly. And so when I pulled the quote, it made me think that I might want to put a quote on all my collages. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen, but don't be surprised if it doesn't. So if you see me doing that, you'll know why. This is more of a journey for me, and I'm hoping that it will be for you as well. I'm very hopeful. So I really hope we get a lot of people to join. There's a lot of people that have already joined in the Facebook group. I forget how many, but I'm really excited to see what all they do and what kind of techniques they use. I know we have some beginners, and I know we have a few pretty pretty advanced artists in there that I've seen, and so I'm really anxious to see what they do. And I hope if you do YouTube your process, I hope you put it into Bohodaydreams for us to see it. If not, and if you're just doing it on YouTube or Instagram, I hope you'll use the hashtag BDD Collage. Um, so I just keep laying down here. These prompts for this challenge, it's up to your interpretation. So don't feel like, if I say the word, if I pull out angel, that you have to go find an angel. This lady that I'm working on right here, she wasn't even an angel. She's a nun or Mary or Mother Teresa. I'm not sure who she is, but she wasn't an angel, but you can see I'm making her to be an angel. And the lady above, I'm going to put those flowers to my left on her head as her halo. And then I have another little teeny tiny one right to the right of my hand there that I'm going to put down as well. So I'm using 3 angels. I don't know why I keep bumping my camera somehow. Maybe it's because I'm bumping the table. Anyway, so also, you might think of an object a little differently than I think of an object. You might want to get into Surrealism Collage. And if you don't know what that is, go check that out. It is so funky and cool. You put things together that don't make any sense, but they just end up being the most funky, cool thing you've ever seen. I don't know that that's me. I'm kind of more of, I don't know, maybe romantic images I think I like, or I don't know. I like a lot of stuff down on my collage. I like to look for things. Um I like surprises. I like when I put it down, I step back and I look at it again and see, if there's anything else I want to do to it. And sometimes it takes a while to finish the process because I might think I'm finished and I'm really not. And I hope that you'll see that that will be the way it works with you too. um, so there's really no wrong or right way to do this. Nobody's ever going to say, "Oh, you're doing it wrong." Um, you can, if you can't find one of the prompts, use a lot more of the other prompts. If you just can't figure out how to use it, don't worry about it. It's a challenge in the fact that it's going to stretch you so that you can try and stretch your imagination and use things a little differently. But I don't want any stress involved with this whatsoever. I'm not going to allow myself to be stressed, so I don't want you to be stressed either. So I'm pretty much done here. The wallpaper, I'm laying down these snowflakes, which could be stars or snowflakes. But here's the prompts here. Again, the wallpaper was kind of the bonus. So I'm just going to let this dry for a few minutes, and I'm going to come back and work on the rest of it. So here I am coming back to do the rest of my collage, and I have an idea of what I want to do. I wrote down my quote, and I'm going back over it with black because I couldn't see it very well with the blue. my quote for this collage is just something I say to myself sometimes. Make sure you are important to you. And I know as moms and women, grandmothers, and just family members in general, we always give so much of ourselves, and sometimes we forget to take care of ourselves, or, we just get lost in the minutiae of every day and all the things that we have to do. And so I have to remind myself, and I'm going to remind myself a lot of that this year, because it's really important to me that I do remember me, just for my well-being. And we've all been through it this year and most of last year too. So I don't know that it's going to get any better this year. But in my mind, I want to be better. In my soul, I want to be better. So that's why I'm doing this. That's why I really want everybody to take part, or everybody who takes part in this, to just enjoy yourself and, enjoy the journey. That's why I'm not providing the prompts all at one time or too much ahead of time, because you might look at your collage when you're done and you've got 3 or 4 more days left in the week, and you might have another idea that you want to add to your collage. So there's just nothing set in stone with something like this. You'll see what I mean when you get into it, because it just kind of evolves into something. That's what it is. It's an evolution, it's a journey, it's a process. So here I am finishing up my quote, or trying to. I didn't write it super fancy or anything, but I just want to be able to see it. I mean, after all, it really is just for me. So you can kind of see there. And then I think I'm going to do some outlining, put some gesso on it, and show you how to use some gesso if you haven't used some before. I may mess this up. I may regret all of that, but I am going to try it. So we'll see what happens. So I'm getting out my gesso, and that's my palette knife there that I showed you in the supplies video, my first video. This is golden gesso, and I'm just kind of scraping it off. I'm not really scraping it straight off. I'm just, there I had a little too much, and then I'm just going to take that palette knife and I'm just going to scrape it on the paper and see where I think I want some more accents. I like to test it a little bit. That's why I took that piece of paper out, but I don't know what it is about gesso. It just kind of gives your eye something to look at and makes some interest and gives your page some depth, I think. So I just keep going over. There's really no mistakes. If you get too much, and you can wipe it off with a wet cloth, or you can rub it in with your finger. If I don't want the area around it to be white, then I wipe it off with a cloth. And here, I just want to get some in the corner and kind of get it around. Excuse me. The pencil that I'm going to work with is a Stabilo, if I can find it. I have some black and white ones. Here's the black one. This is a Stabilo Aqua something, 8046, and I think I got these on Amazon. And you can order all different colors, actually. I think I have white, I have red. I'm trying to think what other colors. That might be it. But you can kind of get multi-packs of it. See what I mean? You can make all kinds of mistakes. I spilled my water trying to get some water in that cap for my pen. The reason I'm getting water is so that because these are water soluble and it spreads better. See how it just comes off? You don't have to put a lot of pressure when you use it. See what I mean? It makes a really nice dark thick line, and you might not want that, but you can also take your finger without getting it wet and kind of rub it out like a chalk or a pastel, and it kind of smudges. I'm making a mess, so so I'm just going to go around these edges here, and it just kind of outlines your picture. It gives it a little bit of a frame. Like, see up there in the left corner, you can tell now where the collage starts and where it ends, and I like that about it. It's kind of like outlining your coloring. You know, when you were a kid and you were coloring in your coloring book and you figured out in art class that you need to outline things, and I just thought that was the coolest thing when I figured out how to do that, and I love to color, and then I would go back and outline everything. It was so fun to me. I guess that's maybe why I like collaging so much. I don't know. I always loved art class. I just keep dipping my pencil in the water, kind of experimenting with how wet it gets and what it does. If you get too much like that, you can wipe it off. That did smudge a little bit, so I'll go back. Yeah, here we go. And just try to wipe some of that off. I might get some gesso later and just go over that, the bigger smudge there, since that's on the edge, and tone that down a bit. Gesso is really good for when you make a mistake. You can fix things with it. It's kind of opaque, so, and you can layer it up, and then when you lay it down, it kind of seals stuff too. So like when I do the layering thing that I think I'm going to do on my next collage, it's going to seal the papers below. And then whenever you lay on top of it, if you do ink or sprays or things like that, you'll see that it acts differently on top of that gesso. The colors are more intense and things like that. Let's see if I have any more on the brush or on this palette. Nope, I don't. Get some and see. Hopefully I won't mess this up too bad. So I'm going to give you the prompts for next week's collage as well. The weeks are going to run from Sunday to Saturday. So Thursday or Friday, be on the lookout for the collage prompts. And then you can start looking for your pieces and getting ready to do your collage. This, I think I already said that. These images came out of books and Somerset Studio magazine, I think. I like to look in Daphne's diary. I showed you a magazine that we get here locally that has some cool pages in it. The O. Henry books with flowers in it. In any kind of book or magazine, you can look through and find some really good pictures in. Even advertisements have pretty cool images in them a lot of times. So I'm about finished here. I'm just kind of seeing where I think I might want some outline. I don't know that I want to outline everything, but I do want to give it some separation between the pieces. I'm really excited for the prompts that I drew for next week. They are circles, which is something I love working with, wings, eyes, and then the bonus is Van Gogh. I'll post those in the description as well for next week, so you can have that too. And then I'll post it into the event. I'll probably do that today because tomorrow is the 1st. Today's the 31st, New Year's Eve, and you really only have, one day of the first week. But I already gave the prompts early on in the Facebook group. So if you want to get the prompts earlier than everybody else, come and join our Facebook group and look into the events tab. And I will link the group down in the description box so that you can find it pretty easily. And don't forget to answer all the questions. You have to do that, or you won't get in the group. So you have to know that you're not spam. I want this flower to stand out a little bit. It's hard to see. Oh, I don't think that. Yeah, I don't like that too good. I think I'm going to try and get that off. Hopefully I don't ruin it. This is just a wet napkin is all it is. See if I can get that. Okay, that didn't turn out too bad. And now I can see that flower more, so. I don't know. I just feel like I'm having such a good time doing this. I'm going to add just a little bit more gesso. Oh, now I really like that flower. Yeah, that's turning out really good. So, lastly, most importantly, hope that you'll come and join us in the group Bohodaydreams. My Instagram is a dreamy bohemian, and I'll put that down in the description as well, so that you can check me out if you want to. And I really hope that you'll choose to do this collage. I think it's going to be a nice journey, a nice, calm journey for this year. I don't know what else to call it. I'm just excited about it. So I'm pretty done there, I think. I think I'm happy with that. I guess we'll see tomorrow, right? Well, never as happy as you think you are. I could play with it forever. I mean, if you don't just put your pencil down, you just keep doing it. So I think I'm going to call it done. I appreciate you guys so much for coming and watching my video. I hope you guys have a wonderful new year. And we will see you in 2022. Here's the book that I'm using. It's an old Happy Planner from 2017. And look, I can just pop that back in there. And then I'm just going to sit it out to dry. Here's the prompts again for next week. Wings, circles, eyes, and Van Gogh. I can't wait to use the circles. Bye, guys. Happy New Year.